This video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. This video is not sponsored by the Hungarian Railways. In fact, this video contains a substantial rant directed against them. God, they suck. In July 2023, I had a radical idea, namely to travel from Germany to the north of the Czech Republic by train outside the Prague-Berlin main line. This is a feat nobody has attempted for almost a century, so I figured the task is up to me now. Having written my will beforehand, I headed from Leipzig to a town called Freiberg, where my train would depart towards the Czech border. And there it was, the Shinkansen of Saxony. Actually, it's a Stadler Regio shuttle, and it's a pretty good train for countryside operations. It's small but scalable, is low floor, has AC, no complaints there. You can even see into the driver's cabin, which is cool. It was so far so good on my doomed journey to the Czech Republic. It was pretty hilarious how this small-ass train was flooring it through the forest. So kudos to Germany, the tracks are mostly in order. For those of you interested, this is the RB83 from Freiberg to Holzhau. So yeah, we're going to Holzhau, right on the Czech border. There we go, getting close. This does look like a Holzhau to me. And we're here. Better get off now, since according to the sign, this train will continue on to Nicht einsteigen, and that isn't somewhere you want to be. Alright, so it's time to get on the train to the Czech Republic. Alright, I guess it's going from over there behind those trees. A bit further on. Uh-oh, I can feel the dramatic tension building, and for good reason. Searching for my train connection just behind the tree line, in the ditch. There it was. Well, there's my problem. The line has a significant missing section. Between the stations Holzhau and Moldova Krušný Horách, a good 8 kilometers of track is missing.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But the thing is, I still have a train to catch on the Czech side, so better get going. The Free State of Saxony. If you want to go by train, fuck you. Get a car, idiot. Global warming isn't real. To be fair, there have been increasing talks about restoring this line, and none of the two sides, Sachsen and Ústecký Kraj, oppose it. Only you need to get funding from somewhere. How and when this will be done is unclear. In the meantime, it's jungle diving for passengers. Though there have been some good precedents already. A bit to the east, around Dresden, a few years ago they plugged a similar gap in a track on the border, enabling the start of the U28 local line. And it has been popular both with locals and tourists since then. There is also the Johann Georgenstadt to Karlovy Vary connection, which is also okay, but that would be too much of a detour. Plus I came here to suffer and to chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum. So let's get on with my low-budget German reenactment of Tropic Thunder. By the way, as I said, this video also includes a substantial rant about the Hungarian Railways and the trash fire they call Intercity service in this area, so look forward to that in a bit. In the meantime, I gotta move fast through this forest as I've seen some squirrels around. And squirrels, just like cats, are controlled by government satellites, as we all know. To prevent the Saxon deep state from using the squirrels to view your browsing history, I recommend using Private Access VPN to do just that. For the two of you who don't yet know what a VPN or a virtual private network is, it's a service that hides your IP address and keeps your connection safe via an encrypted tunnel. Your devices on average transmit a lot of information about you, which can become accessible to various other parties on the way. That's where Private Internet Access comes in, shielding you from the eyes of ISPs, state censorship attempts, and various other malicious actors. It also helps you bypass websites' region blocks. Looking at you, Instagram threads. They are the world's most transparent VPN provider with over 30 million downloads, not recording or storing any user data. Apparently, this was also proven in court multiple times and via a Deloitte audit. Private Internet Access also comes with additional benefits. It works with all major streaming websites, so if you wanted to watch British TV for some reason, like Top Gear, but it's blocked in your country, well, now you can watch it by switching to a US server, funny enough. Oh, and the service also boasts the rare feature of P2P file sharing support. Private Internet Access is available on all platforms, Windows, Mac, Linux, and so on, and you can protect an unlimited number of devices at the same time with a single subscription. I especially find such a VPN service useful when using public Wi-Fi networks on longer train trips. Use my link in the description and get 83% off Private Internet Access for a mere $2.03 per month. In addition, you'll also get 4 months free. Signing up is risk-free as you'll have a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support in case you're having trouble. Big thanks to Private Internet Access for sponsoring today's video. And now, back to the forest. Aside from the whole catastrophic lack of vision and strategy for cross-border rail traffic, the area is quite nice, though on the German side rather underdeveloped, funny enough. As you're making your way on the clearing that used to be the train track, you can listen to the sounds of traffic on the brand new road parallel to you. The surroundings really are picturesque. Imagine a Switzerland-style panoramic train traveling here. I'm dreaming, of course. On both sides of the border, there are way too many conservative boomers in government whose ass cheeks are 70% BMW seat leather at this point through decades of pressure osmosis. Next to the trail, parts of the old rails are dug into the ground to mark the edge, as if to spite me. Hey look, even the old rail bridge is still here. No rail on it though. Makes sense, as the company BMW X5s and Mercedes G-classes cannot travel on rails, so rebuilding it would be practically useless. Oh, and there's also a creek. I just wanted to show you, it looks nice. By the way, when I'm standing still, that wobbling is my heart rate. When not recording, I'm going at a very fast pace because I have a train to catch, on the other end of a goddamn hiking path. Here's the German-Czech border. Have fun hiking in the Bohemian Ormond, fuck you. I'm hiking here against my will. Just build a fucking train. Here's a beautiful creek to assuage my negative feelings. Look how it flows. And just like how taxpayers' money flows into pointless highway projects while the fucking rail network is falling apart in front of our... Okay, it's time to move on. On the Czech side, there is an actual paved cycle path, which is neat. Germany could build one as well, but SUVs wouldn't fit on it, so it would be pointless. The area is unique, as it hasn't really changed much over the centuries, providing a cool time window for us. Now entering the village of Moldava, a settlement of like 15 houses up in the mountains, which still has better public transit than Los Angeles. After a half-an-hour march, I finally reached the center. There's the German border again. And of course the obligatory alcohol and cigarette stores for boomers. I made it earlier than I thought. I still had about 40 minutes till my train, so I spent my time in the local cultural center. After some self-education, once I felt smart enough, I moved over to the station. Finally, I reached my connecting train, and all it took was 2 hours of jungle diving. Time to take this former Deutsche Bahn Series 628 diesel multiple unit, first produced in 1974, overhauled and operated by Gateway Train. I actually have no complaints here considering the circumstances. The train has AC, Wi-Fi and power sockets, also an LCD information screen. Through the overhaul, they get out pretty much everything they could out of this classic set. Also, the toilets are just aesthetic. And off we go. At this point, my task is to get back into Germany, so I need to take this train through the mountains, down into the flatlands, where I can hopefully reach the Czech main line. Along the mountain track, time was frozen in the early 1900s, so did the track infrastructure, hence the incredible speed the train produces. Despite the century-old infrastructure, the area has not been abandoned. The track on the Czech side was reinforced last year, so they're clearly counting with service here. After some more near Mach speed travel, I finally reached the Czech local line, which connects into the main line. It is newly renovated, with some work still ongoing. Full track replacement, a speed increase of up to 135 km for local trains. It's neat to be in a country that takes its rail network seriously. Local service is operated for now with overhauled S-Bahn cars with a converted control car at the front, nicknamed Gopher. This is a great example of how to make the most of what you have, even if you don't have Swiss-level resources. And now, on to Ústí nad Labem, where I hope to catch something towards Germany. Currently, we're going on one track, as the other one hasn't been put down yet. Czechs tend to give their rail administration a lot of shit, but works are constantly ongoing, and there is a mostly clear strategy as to what the hell they want to accomplish. Unlike my dear home country, Hungary. Oh fuck, this is the foreshadowing, I guess. At the Ústí nad Labem station, I got off in hopes of a train to Germany. Only, little did I know it was a Hungarian Railways hero city, sporting the so-called Intercity Plus cars. The stupid-ass goddamn Intercity Plus cars that are the reason why we can't have nice things. Okay, so let me explain. So, the Austrian Railways. We all know them, we all like them. Quality rolling stock, rock-solid strategy, sky-high punctuality. If Switzerland is the rail mecca of the world, Austria is a very close second. In the early 2000s, Austrians looked at their distance train fleet, still quite impressive even then, and thought, how could we make this even better? The bulk of their fleet were the well-known Graz-simmering Eurocity cars. These things were built in the 70s, 80s and 90s, and turned out so well that other Central European rail operators couldn't stop buying them second-hand. The Hungarians run them, the Czech Railways run them, RegioJet runs them. The Graz-simmering Eurocity cars are the heroine of Central European carriers. Why did the Austrians sell these if they were so good? Because they knew better. They could have easily kept them and maintained a still very high quality service for 30 more years, but instead they decided to fundamentally improve and innovate their service. The RailJet program was launched, which instantly became their world-famous, massively popular flagship product. So what's so good about them? Each train has 7 to 9 cars that are permanently coupled. This means the vestibules open into each other and you can walk from one end of the train to the other without having to climb through dark, loud gangways and have to open 8,000 sliding double doors on the way, half of which aren't functioning. Because of this, the train is more spacious, quiet and less prone to electrical defects, as the cables between the cars aren't plugged and unplugged constantly, as cars don't need to be switched. The last car is a control car, enabling much faster turnaround times without the need to unhook the locomotive when changing direction. Sets are capable of 230 km per hour and are pulled exclusively by Siemens Eurosprinters. Every time you travel by RailJet, you know exactly which part of the train is where and what level of service you can expect, as every train is uniformly put together and equipped on the inside. The RailJet service is a fucking masterpiece. It It represents the absolute peak of regular, non-high-speed distance rail traffic in Europe. Fuck the ICE4, fuck the Pendolino, it's all about the railjet. They're so good, the Czech Railways is bulk ordering them, and even Amtrak can't help but ape them with their new Aero sets. And that's not all. A new generation of railjets is already on the way. Double-decker electric multiple units, basically souped-up inner-city Stadler kisses. Level boarding, superior rate of acceleration and deceleration, 200 km/h top speed. These things are the new gold fucking standard for below high-speed distance rail travel. Coming to you in 2026. So, this is what the Austrians are up to. With this context in mind, now we can start talking about the Hungarian Railways Intercity Plus. Once upon a time, like 15 years ago, government officials, together with the Hungarian Railways leadership, looked at the state of the Hungarian railway. Half a century-old rolling stock, infrastructure falling apart, complete lack of vision, strategy and funding, constant breakdowns, general chaos. They saw all that and decided they needed a Hungarian-made passenger car. The vision was that they needed a Hungarian-made passenger car. The strategy was that they needed a Hungarian-made passenger car. And the goal was that they needed a Hungarian-made passenger car. How will they use it? What service do they want to provide with it and where? What's the overarching concept this new car will be a part of? Who knows? We'll just figure it out as we go along. Thus, the Intercity Plus project was born. The first two prototypes were presented in 2013, 5 years after the first railjets went into operation. Then it was 4 more years till mass production started. 500 cars were supposed to be built, of which they managed 92 till funding was cut. The cars were built in a Hungarian Railways maintenance workshop, which was pretty remarkable considering the workshop had a significant shortage of repair capacity and employees. But they managed to build IC Plus cars by not overhauling existing cars. The end results? The railway's best shit. Their highest quality Spanish CAF Eurocity cars were rotting on sidetracks for years as a massive car deficit plagued the entire Hungarian rail system at the same time. And for what? See, generally, in rail passenger traffic, there are 3 types of trains you can run. Classic sets, that's locomotive plus passenger cars. Push-pull sets, that's locomotive plus passenger cars plus a control car, and there are also multiple units. Push-pulls are superior to classic sets because it can change direction without having to unhook the locomotive so it can go around the set and then having to rehook it on the other side. The driver just walks over to the control car from where they can remotely control the locomotive in the back. Problem solved. This provides massive savings in time, money and labor. And then there are multiple units which are superior to both classic and push-pull sets. They have multiple smaller motors that can accelerate the train far better. These vastly superior dynamics come in very handy when trying to work down delays. Also, they are low floor and can have more doors on them, which significantly speeds up passenger exchange at stations. Of these 3 categories, the railjet is in the second, though it's closer to multiple units as it's permanently coupled. The Intercity Plus, however, is just a reproduction of the classic set. Way to trap your railway in the 1960s permanently by reproducing obsolete solutions. No, not even the 1960s. The Hungarian Railways has been operating its BDDF control cars since 1963, designed to work together with their workhorse V43 locomotives in suburban traffic. Half a century later, when producing brand new distance rolling stock, they somehow forgot a lesson they already figured out shortly after World War II. The IC Plus cars themselves are of generally poor quality. Here are the issues I documented just in one vestibule of one car after standing there for 2 minutes. The speaker is misaligned, the screen is falling off, the ceiling panel is about to fall down, that white wall panel's edges are highlighted with grime far better than the most artisanally made Warhammer Toa Empire miniature, and otherwise it seems like no 2 panels were fitted together correctly. But the biggest crime against humanity was that they didn't just stop at producing low-quality new cars. Oh no, their best, highest quality CAF Eurocity cars also got the IC Plus treatment, turning their best, most well-designed golden age of rail interiors into something out of a cheap countryside bus. This includes their beautiful red and gold restaurant cars, which now look like village buffets. I've actually visited the restaurant car on the train back to Germany. I ordered a beer and some food, but service was so chaotic I only ever got my beer. Of the 2 waiters, one just sat around looking at us while the other barely spoke English. It wasn't a problem for me, of course, we spoke Hungarian, but taking other passengers' orders in broken English was an excruciatingly slow ordeal. As an extra, the waiter did not note down which table ordered what, so every time something was done, he toured around the entire car, food in hand, trying his best to describe what he was holding in broken English, hoping someone would recognize their order. I waved him down, told him to forget my food order because it's been an hour already and I'm getting off in 10 minutes. I paid, which consisted of him plopping down the card terminal on my table and then immediately leaving. Afterwards, I went to the toilet where there was no liquid soap as usual. Thankfully, the Hungarian Railways always put an extra block of soap in each bathroom as a standard, but these cards were designed with the assumption that their operator is capable of the Herculean task of refilling the liquid soap, so the bathrooms don't have a block soap holder. Because of this, railway workers just throw the soap into the sink for you to fish it out. But here, creative passengers wetted some hand wipes, stuck a fistful on the windowsill, and embedded the soap into it as a makeshift soap holder. Isn't that great? On the wall opposite to the sink, there was a coat hanger, which, in my opinion, represents the attitude and current state of the Hungarian State Railways better than a 1000-page essay could. At some point, the coat hanger fell off and someone tacked the wall under it, so in the maintenance depot, they screwed it back, skewed with 2 different types of screw, and without cleaning the tag from under it first. What an excellent representation of their whole operation. A tiny tip of a massive iceberg of shit. And this was my rant about the Hungarian Railways. Once I got off the train in Dresden, the rest of the trip was fine. DB has a decent service to Leipzig using Bombardier Talent electric multiple units. So, to sum up, the Hungarian Railways suck ass, and I can't wait for the Holzhau-Moldova gap closure to happen so that passengers don't have to hike 2 hours in a forest to catch their connection. The Czech Railways, they deserve praise. They've been doing plenty of neat stuff lately, only they should stop giving every new train set a new name. Oh, and their track numbering system makes 0 sense. But otherwise, impressive work. Good for them. Alright, that's the end of this video. It was quite the roller coaster, but I hope you had fun watching it. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and do consider supporting me on Patreon if you like my content. And I'll be seeing you next time.